back, friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment, featuring our 300 series. All of these episodes that feature our small but powerful force of war veterans face off against foes in a wide variety of scenarios and in ever-increasingly more difficult situations. Alright, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you get better at Bannerlord through the use of tactics and field command and showing you huge battles. And I have a huge battle set up here, something that surprised me, something I didn't realize was possible, even though I've played the game for a long time. Maybe it's been so long since I've had a friend. So the Sturgeons were attacking a Southern Empire city here, a castle rather, and I declared peace on the Southern Empire and realized that I could enter the castle. So our force is in pretty good shape. We just got off a fight. So we have some injuries. We can do some upgrades. I'm going to recruit a bunch of prisoners just so our number's closer to 300. And we're going to interfere. I'm not going to attack directly. As you can see, they have 4,000 troops. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break into the castle. And even though we'll suffer some losses, you know, trying to sneak in, that's how the system works. You can see we have 270-something men for the defense of this castle, where we will be effectively helping Southern Empire forces. Forces I imagine I have no control over in the castle. That said, you know, they have a bunch of militia. We can use these guys as meat shields.
Sergeants, take
and again, so this is something I've experienced before too. They don't give you time to set up your units or assign your captains. So we're going to do a little bit of assessment of who's where. But we're going to effectively try to use the Southern Empire forces here as meat shields and defend this castle. I wasn't able to look over the layout of this castle either, so I'm just taking a second here to sort of orient myself. I'm going to set my 8th Corps and the 5th Archers up on this little knoll here. Looks like the 3rd and the 6th are guarding the main gate here, so the 3rd Infantry I'm going to put in a big long line. They'll be my reserve infantry to clash upon gate forces, and the 6th is on the gate. And I'm going to drag an archer unit up here and see what positioning I can do here. This is a really unique castle. There's a big long line wall here. Alright, let's use this. I could put archers in a big long line here, and those guys will be able to shoot down on enemies coming into the courtyard. If I can get the positioning arrows to work right. That's a lot better. I want them in a big long line. Sometimes it takes a second to sort of finesse it. There we go. Now they're in a big long line. What the fuck? There's 1,000 javelins getting thrown up here. Oh, of course we're fighting the Sturgeons. So they have horse raiders and all kinds of javelin throwing motherfuckers. We can return some here with better aim. Oh, we've got exploding fucking balls up on this side of the keep too. Beautiful. Now that our units are in place, we have an idea of what defense process we're going to make. We're going to rain down some bombs here on these forces. I've got a catapult also lobbing bombs, and it's like a javelin factory right here. All of the misthrown javelins. I'm going to be able to basically throw unlimited javelins in this battle. Rain down a few more balls here. As long as they're in range, I'm going to keep doing this. Killing 5, 6, 7 times guys at a time. And then, of course, anytime I have the opportunity, I'm going to fire a javelin in there. Of course, killing one guy at a time with your javelins after killing 10 guys with your little exploding bombs there, it feels like a lap dance killing one guy. Pretty weak. Still, it seems like free kills. Look at, they're just piling up javelins behind me. And as long as I keep my head down here, I shouldn't take too many hits. Alright, where are these balls? There's a bunch of these exploding balls. These are still... This is the real deal here. This is no lap dance. We can kill 10, 15 guys every throw. Gotta lob it out there as far as you can. And mass death ensues. Look at these fucking javelins. Of course, my guys are getting killed by them as well, but... Sometimes you gotta risk a few javelins. A lot of times I'll pull troops down from the walls like this, but a lot of these guys seem like they're not getting hit. They might have a good angle on the enemy, or whatever it is. Oh shit, they're already hitting for the ladders. This is actually good in the short term because I'll be able to Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, rainbow these balls, I hope, right into their midst. Yeah, just a direct hit. If the whole screen is dead people. And just killing people en masse here. They're trying to put their ladders up, and each time there's just like a mortar round thrown in there, body parts getting blown all over the place. That's what the guys who made the dismemberment mod need to do. They need to figure out how to use these exploding bombs and have body parts go flying everywhere. That would be truly gruesome. All right, we're down to our last throw here. See if there's any more javelins I can pick up here, but that was a highly successful initial defensive foray. I haven't looked at the left side of the keep here. I'm sure I have forces over there defending. The enemy in this case, I didn't mention it before, but it looks like they only have ladders. They have a siege ram, but they only have ladders. They don't have siege towers, and I haven't seen any counter siege. I haven't seen them lobbing in trebuchet rounds or catapult rounds, stuff like that. So I've got a dozen hardy guys here. I see legionnaires in there. I see actually some of the allies have some good troops in there. I see a few cataphract. So this left side's in pretty good shape too. And it looks like just like the other side, we've got some archers here with a nice toehold. Oh, more exploding bombs. Now we're talking. All right, we're going to increase the death spam here. These guys piled up here on these ladders are just absolute... Whoops, no, I don't need to check my email right now, thanks. These guys are just absolutely stacked up for us to just blow up. And critically, right, we're killing their elite troops. This enemy force is over 4,000. That means they're going to have a huge amount of elite troops, but we're killing them by the dozen with our bombs here. I'm trying to get a throw on those guys out there that are going to be coming in underneath the guardhouse. I think I'll try this spot here. This is where you can throw the rocks down on the heads of the guys between the two gatehouses. See if they've already broken the door. Here, catch, boys. All right, so plenty of destruction caused with our counter siege. Now it's time to see what the gate and the two ladder situations reveal. So my 3rd Infantry there on the right, they're holding a nice reserve. I basically keep them back to charge for moments where I need them. You don't want to find in situations in keep defenses where the enemy's all of a sudden overrunning you that you have no lever to pull. You want to be able to have some kind of option, some kind of plan. You know what? I got a different idea. I've got another infantry division. I'm going to put my 3rd up here. I like how these archers are positioned. I like the narrowness of this. We can put a square right at the mouth of this, and if the enemy starts really storming in, we can use this upper area here as a last defense. I think this infantry square will come up here in good order. If they do, we'll have archers spread out on both sides. We'll have the elite 8th Division there to support them. Look at all these archers spread out. Yeah, beautiful. These guys are up here in a nice big fat square. They're going to be blocking that wall area. I still got a few defenders here that are pushing back the ladders. And I have the 6th and the 5th divisions that I can attack and counterattack at the gate with. So the 6th is in the gatehouse fighting the enemy right now. I will be pulling them back at times. In castle defenses, if you don't know, there's usually a group assigned at the gate. The problem is that they will get a little overzealous sometimes and kind of charge out where they're more vulnerable. I'm trying to figure out what units these guys are. Which archers are these? Okay, these are the 7th. I'm going to leave them right where they are. The 7th archers are up here. I still have some allies that are defending the wall there. That's definitely going to make things easier. And now we're going to go keep an eye on the main gate. I can see him pushing in. I get a feel for it the more I play siege. And my troops are pushing in too far out towards the enemy. So I tell them to fall back. They fall back dutifully. And now we can set them up here to defend the gate. It's interesting, the enemy's not coming through the gate. Usually they storm the gate. Over here is my 5th Corps and the 8th Division. They will be emergency levers to attack anybody who's trying to come through this gate. And of course the right flank up there is our last resort. If we have to fall back to that, that will be our Alamo up there. You can see those archers on that wall, they're just pounding the enemy. Like in safety. I got like one guy trying to retreat here and he's being attacked. Let's give him some javelin support. Looks like they dropped him. Alright, so the enemy's starting to come through the gate. We got the 6th Corps here. These guys literally look like they're waiting for the enemy. And then if and when the enemy really starts to pour through the gate, we will charge with the 8th and the 5th. Now the 8th is my best units. Those are my top stud units. These are family members, companions. A lot of them are level 35, 40 even. There's even a few above level 40. And of course, when you tell these guys to kill, it's like sending in Delta Force. They just fucking lay waste to everything. It's systematic. They're not vulnerable, but sometimes it feels like they are. Of course, that's what comprises, that's what anchors the strength of this 300 challenge. Haven't really talked about it, haven't really had a spare moment. But in this very late game campaign I was playing, I was challenged by some subscribers to see, how well our 300 guys could do fighting against large enemy forces, right, with just 300 men. Now I realize in this battle we have militia support, and it looks like the Southern Empire has like, I don't know, 30 or 40 normal troops here defending. So we're just hammering these guys with our projectiles. We've got the 3rd there in a big long shield wall, and now we're just pounding them from the side. Now we have to pour in. We can't let this enemy... Shit. There's more coming in than I ever imagined. They're just like a fucking... It's like a sluice opened up. Fortunately, a lot of these are archers, and it looks like they're trying to get to a spot where they can shoot. I need to get guys in this gatehouse. Sometimes I'll jam the gatehouse myself. The way you do that in a situation like this is just fucking stand there like a stoic barbarian, have troops attack, and then stand there right in the gatehouse yourself, trying to kill everything that comes through. Try to kick guys back, do anything you can, essentially, to slow down the enemy's momentum. So just to finish my thought there, this 300 series is essentially the challenge is to see just how strong a very powerful group, a very powerful army in Bannerlord, what kind of absurd challenges we can take on, right? This is 4,000 attackers at a keep. This is one of the largest forces we've ever had attack us at a keep. And again, granted, we have some assistance, some militia here. So did the Spartans in real life, right? They had Thespians, Thebians. They had other forces basically helping them. And so just like that guy, the Southern Empire troops, that's also a Southern Empire troop. We've got a little bit of help, but it's our Army Corps that's keeping this castle from being overrun right now. I got one of my banner bearers over here. Looks like he's being assailed here. These wolf head motherfuckers, bear head motherfuckers are attacking. So there does seem to be a constant flood of troops from this left side. It looks like the enemy broke through the ladder defenses over there, but that's fine. The enemy's kind of trickling up from there. The main gate is my concern. Shit. Okay, we got to charge with the 6th, 5th, and 8th here. The enemy's had a breach. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to be that guard at the gate here. I told you earlier, sometimes you want to guard a gate yourself. I've got one member of the 8th Corps standing here with me. Actually, there's 3 of them. We are just going to hold this gate. Nothing's coming through while we stand here. And our other forces mopped up the attack there. Nice. Alright, resetting our troops in position. Again, it's the 3rd, the 5th, and the 8th. The 6th at this stage is the shell of its former self. Going to help these guys try to retreat. Some of these guys got carried away. Like I said, some of your units will run out there and chase the enemy, and they are now getting killed out there. Shit's like exploding. I'm not sure what the fuck's happening out there. Okay, another press of men are coming in. And we send in our war dogs here to kill them. Damn, fucking Chuck Norris here. So bloody fighting there at the main gate, but they're holding. I can support these guys. That guy popped his head up at the wrong time. I can support these guys on the edges. I am a full-time firefighter as a profession. I'm at the very end of a 30-year career. Shit. So we've got another breach here. It's time to send in everybody. This is very problematic. The enemy just poured through all of a sudden. All right, so the 5th, 6th, and 8th have all been sent in here to attack. And it's getting... We might be losing control of this keep here. I've got a strong line there with archer support, but man, this is a lot of troops. So I am a first responder by nature. That's how I play and keep defenses. I basically respond to wherever the emergency is the greatest, right? We're doing triage here. Wherever there's the greatest need for our resources, we're going to attack. All right, so nobody coming through the gate here. I'm literally going to watch it. And our troops here are slowly mopping them up. Hey, what's this? We've got... This is militia pouring in. All right, so I've got a new 6th Division, some reinforcements, and we've got militia here at the perfect time. We could cram the gate full of them and move our archers and 8th Corps back. I could reserve these guys for a more pressing need. They're covering that ladder beautifully. I mean, those guys are smoking that ladder. The enemy has no chance of coming up those ladders. I've got this 3rd Corps here and an elite unit basically guarding these ladders. They're streaming up them, but these guys literally have no choice. In fact, it kind of feels like I'm wasting javelins throwing at them. These guys are getting trucked on the walls. Even though these troops are militia, they're mixed in. There's some elite troops mixed in there. I see like a Legionnaire mixed in. So it's an eclectic mix that we're defending this keep with. The gate's getting a little messy. So again, the first responder in me says, oh shit, we've got problems down there at the gate. Let's get our asses down there. Let's defend that shit. Enemies breaching through. This militia wasn't able to hold here. So we charge with the 5th and 8th. Those guys close that gap pretty well. One thing I've learned in castle defense is that when you have an archer division and you want them to plug a gap, right? You want your archers to all of a sudden charge a hole in a breach in the defense like this. Charge, but tell them hold fire. And what that does is they'll put down their bows, they'll put down their crossbow, and they'll charge the gate, right? If you want physical bodies to get in there like a block and dam up the dike, if you just tell them to attack, they'll just sit at range and shoot, and the enemy will just stream in and overwhelm them. So make sure you charge, F1, F3, and then of course make sure once they're charging, they're on hold fire. Otherwise they will just shoot, and eventually they'll be overwhelmed, standing there with their bow. The enemy will pour in and kill them. Now that the breach is fixed, I pull them back and tell them they can fire, right? I want these archers shooting. But there are times where, you know, in emergency services as a firefighter, military, whatever it is, you got to make, you see these guys just hammering them with arrows now. You've got to make sort of decisions to use units in different ways than you would normally use them. Enemies trying to force their way through this front gate. It's getting a little bit dire here. This is why I have that little last defensive set up there on the right flank. If this gets too nasty, if this gets too hairy here, I'm going to pull forces back, and we're going to try to defend that upper wall area to the death. I've got a unit there, a tough infantry unit in a square, and I've got 2 archer divisions with some elite skirmishers up on the walls. Now they're dual purpose. They're shooting down here. I see their arrows going right over my head, killing these guys. God, this is just a fucking death factory here. They're pinned up on one side and being shot on the other. But the same thing goes for the military and the fire service. You have a contingency plan, right? This is a military axiom. Always prepare for the unexpected, like having your head cut off, right? You want to have a plan in case all of a sudden you start getting overwhelmed. In this case, we do. It's right up there. I'm going to drag the 8th Corps, in fact, at this stage. Even though it's pulling some strength from the gate, I want this last defense, sort of this last circumference defense, to be very powerful.
We're going to stick these guys right here in a big arc. And so you see what I have. I have an infantry square with a nasty archer line, and now the 8th Corps combined with skirmishers. If the enemy starts to overwhelm us, I don't think they have more than 2 approaches to here. I think they have this front wall and then the stairs. We'll be able to hammer them as they come up. And of course we have this ironclad shield square right here in front of them. More militia coming in. That's both good and bad. That gives us more troops, but it also means that we're suffering a lot of losses to get reinforcements. The enemy's certainly taking a beating too, but we're going to run out of troops here soon. We've got to get in here and push these guys back. Now for castle sieges, for people watching, I have a custom axe, but you could look for a very short 2-handed axe in your campaign. It's very short, but for sieges, you don't need a long axe. You're right in guys' faces a lot. You want a fast axe, so you can just kill as many guys as possible and just cut heads off left and right. These are all militia, guys wearing fucking blacksmith's clothes, but we've got support. Oh shit, I think the enemy just broke. They did. So there you have it. The enemy's out of here. Combination of militia and our 300 here, our 300 Spartans, was just too much for them to handle. And the enemy's trying to get out of here. I always like to kill some of the enemy that's fleeing. Right, we want to teach our men what happens if they flee. We're going to set the example. Cut some heads off here of the retreating cowards. These fucking guys. This is what would happen to you fellas if you retreat from our army. No retreating, right? And another beautiful, successful victory here by our 300. This is another battle. I was surprised we were able to succeed. I did not imagine... oh shit, that guy took a fucking blow and kept running. I did not imagine that we would have a good chance to win this battle. Not only did we win, but we get to celebrate a victory with this beautiful sunset. Tail Worlds sure knows how to do it, beautiful sunset. Of course, the sunset's always nicer when you're not looking down at your dead companions, right? A victory always makes a sunset sweeter. Killed and injured 3,500, and then 600 fled. That counts as a rousing success here. We continue on with this 300 series. This series is both popular and it's been highly enjoyable for me to play. These episodes I will attempt to shoot more than once. In other words, if the siege goes badly, I will try this more than once. I will try to be forthcoming about how many times it took, if it took us more than once. And I'll also try to not tell you guys what number we're on until this stage. And this was our first attempt here. We just got dumped in. I have a lot of siege experience, and we were ultimately successful. I'd like to introduce you to my wife. Doesn't she just look like a dandy? 7 children, and she's still smiling, covered in blood, right? She's totally savage, badass. She's got a big fucking savage, bloody sword. And she just looks like I just gave her a foot massage and an amazing dinner. She's like smiling all the way home. So we'll soldier on with our 300 here. We're gonna continue this series. We're gonna make the challenges harder and harder. I'm gonna seek more and more difficult challenges in the future until our 300 breaks. Just like the real Spartans, we're gonna continue to look for challenges until we can't win these battles and push on anymore.